What is up, everyone? I'm Ryan from Fireside Yankees, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about prospect Carlos Lagrange, a right-handed starting pitcher who has been absolutely remarkable with the Hudson Valley Renegades. He just turned 22 years old this past week, and he celebrated that 22nd birthday with a dominant performance for the Hudson Valley Renegades against the Wilmington Blue Rocks. He struck out 8 batters across 6 2/3 innings pitched, allowed 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk. That earned run came on a solo home run. And while his ERA is north of 4 through 8 starts in high A, I think he's been one of the most impressive pitchers in minor league baseball. He's someone who has some of the most impressive stuff in the league, and he also has an unbelievable ability to generate swings and misses. The Yankees have, I think, a future stud in Lagrange who possesses a fastball that touches 102 miles an hour. And today we're going to break down why he could be the next top pitching prospect for the New York Yankees. Before we get into everything, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell. We really appreciate your guys' continued support throughout not just this YouTube page, but all of our social media platforms on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and of course, the website, empiresportsmedia.com. We really appreciate your guys' support, and if you aren't subscribed, make sure you do that already. And links to everything that we have are in the description, so check that out as well. And without further ado, let's get into today's video. Let's start off talking about Carlos Lagrange's stat line this season with Hudson Valley. Across 8 starts, he is 4-2 with a 4.10 ERA, a 2.92 FIP, a 38.1% strikeout rate, and a 7.1% walk rate. He has a 0.86 home runs per 9, which isn't elite, but it also is better than the league average at high A, so it is something that you don't consider a weakness for him. That 38.1% strikeout rate is an outlier, though. It is something that immediately stands out. If you sort through pitchers with at least 40 innings pitched at the minor league level this year, he is one of just 5 pitchers with a strikeout rate of at least 38%. The pitchers in front of him are Patrick Copen, Jonah Tong, Chase Burns, and Trey Savage. 3 of those 4 pitchers I just mentioned are not even just top 100 prospects. They're locks on a top 100 list. I think you should be discredited for having a top 100 list. That doesn't include any of those 3 guys. And unlike some of those pitchers like Tong or like Copen, Lagrange doesn't have a high walk rate. In fact, he and Chase Burns are the only 2 pitchers in that top 5 to have a walk rate below 8%. So when you evaluate strikeout to walk percentage, Lagrange is 6th in all of baseball, minor league baseball, among pitchers who are qualified. If you shorten that to pitchers with at least 40 innings pitched, he is 3rd. That filters out some of the complex league guys who haven't thrown that much this year. And again, that's only behind Chase Burns and Trey Savage. And when we talk about metrics that are the most important to evaluate for minor league pitchers, strikeout to walk rate is among the most important. And so when you're talking about a pitcher who is 3rd in such an important stat and is just one of 4 pitchers to have a strikeout to walk rate at or above 30%, we're talking about someone who should be in top 100 conversations immediately. Another metric that is really telling of whether a guy will be a big leaguer or not is fastball velocity. Baseball America did a study, and there is a large percentage of pitchers who have reached or exceeded 100 miles an hour who end up making the major leagues, and Carlos Lagrange has touched 100 and 101 miles an hour multiple times throughout the season with the Hudson Valley Renegades. So again, 2 things that signal you're a big leaguer or you will be a big leaguer are things that Lagrange dominate in. He has outlier velocity. He has outlier swing and miss numbers. He has outlier strikeout to walk rates. And it's not like he's relying on just called strikes. He is powering through lineups. He has a 16.8% swinging strike rate. That's the 8th highest for any pitcher with 40 or more innings pitched. I've been really impressed with his ability to just go out there and generate swings and misses. And if you look at numbers like FIP or expected FIP, which try to, better, I guess, take into account things such as your strikeout rates, your walk rates, your home run rates, all that stuff. Lagrange is 23rd among pitchers with 40 innings pitched among all of minor league baseball. His 2.70 xFIP is 9th. So again, we talk about all these things that project towards the major league level, like things that you look at for really good prospects. Carlos Lagrange dominates. He is dominant in that regard, and that has made me really excited about what his future outlook is because the stuff is really good. Lagrange throws from a lower arm angle, which means that his four-seam fastball is going to play up a little bit, even if it doesn't have elite level ride. Before, that was kind of an issue for him. His fastball shape was really poor, but this year he's upped the fastball induced vertical break to about 16.7 inches of IVB, and he's sitting between 98 to 99 miles an hour on that pitch. He has two sliders. He has kind of a cutter kind of pitch and a sweeper. And those two pitches are dominant. They are really, really good. They generate a lot of swings and misses. They play really well to right-handed hitters and left-handed hitters, or at least the more of that gyro, cutter, slider kind of pitch that plays better against lefties. But LeGrand has thrown a really good sweeper. That sweeper kind of came around last year in the Arizona Fall League, but it's really developed and taken off into an excellent weapon. And he's got a changeup that he's really started to develop a nice feel for. When you watch him pitch against left-handed batters, that changeup has become a nice strikeout pitch for him. The shape on it isn't elite, but again, he has really good control of it, or he's developed better control of it, and it just plays so well off the fastball because there's a massive velocity differential. So this is someone who has a really good ability to spin the ball in all different directions. When I look at that tight slider as well, I haven't been able to tell if there's a cutter and slider in there. Last year at the minor league level, he threw a cutter and a slider, and that slider wasn't a sweeper. So I wonder if it's being tagged as a slider and a cutter. And those two pitches right there, if those are two separate pitches, that only adds to his ability to go after hitters and attack hitters and keep them off balance. I'm really impressed with the decrease in walk rate. LeGrand has gone from someone who walked 20% of batters faced last year to 7.1% this season, and he is throwing a ton of strikes. This is not someone who is falling behind in the count, who is struggling to attack the zone, who is relying on guys just swinging like crazy against him. He is throwing a ton of strikes. His strike rate is 66.9%. If you want to round that up and say 67%, go right ahead. And among pitchers at the high A level, he has done a really solid job of just going after guys. If you look at pitchers who have thrown the most strikes, LeGrand is 14th in total strikes thrown. So again, he's just going after guys. He's not falling behind that often. He's not someone who is, setting himself up for failure in these situations. He's getting ahead. He's getting count leverage, and he has the stuff to just overpower hitters and really just blow fastballs by people. His ability to just smoke a fastball by someone is pretty impressive, and it's going to translate at the major league level. He has big league level stuff. If Carlos LeGrand is on, I think he could get a major league lineup out. I think he could deliver a quality major league start, but that consistency mechanically, the improving feel for understanding when to use his pitches, those are things he's going to have to work on, and things that I think he will end up developing as he gets older, and he's in the right organization to do it. Again, LeGrand's stuff is not just good, it is frontline starter good. This is the kind of profile of a pitcher who ends up being an ace if everything clicks, and I would be stunned if he's not at least a major league reliever who is a high average reliever, a high leverage reliever. His stuff just pops. It's so good. It's not like he's also someone who's like, oh, I'm only a 4 or 5 inning guy. He has completed 6 innings or more 3 different times. In fact, this most recent start was his longest start as a pro with 6 2/3 innings pitched, and he's completed more than 5 innings in 5 of his 8 starts. So more times than not, Carlos LeGrand is going out there and he is completing more than 5 innings. So he's not just a 5 and dive guy. That's really important to note. And he doesn't have a ton of pro experience either. This isn't someone who is like thrown a lot. Last year he had 21 innings pitched. The year before, 41 2/3 innings pitched. The year before that, 33 innings pitched, and in 2 of the years I just mentioned, 2022 and 2023, he did so in the Dominican Summer League and the Florida Complex League. So neither were full season baseball. This is his kind of his first real taste of full season action. Last year when he played in Single A for the first time, he made 5 starts, and some of those were starts where he was still working back from injury. So it's not really fair to judge him on those outings. And again, that lack of pro experience, I think, is something that works in LeGrand's favor because it makes him someone that has so much more developing to do. There isn't, this long developmental cycle. Like, he's been here for years and we haven't been able to get him going. He is finally healthy and he's finally gotten the ball rolling in that regard. I'm really excited to kind of see how LeGrand ends up panning out at AA, because I think the Yankees should consider moving him up to AA relatively soon. I don't think there's a lot for him to learn at high A anymore. I don't think there's much he's going to continue to learn at this level. I don't think there's value in it. And not to say that, he shouldn't, there's nothing for him to learn in Hudson Valley. Like, it's over. Like, he's already a stud or whatever. He's not a big leaguer. He needs more time in the minor leagues. He's still someone who needs experience, but I think he should be challenged by better hitters. I think better hitters will present a much greater opportunity for LeGrand to see if his stuff is still as overpowering against better competition. I do think that the raw velocity, the raw advantage in terms of velocity makes it really hard for LeGrand to not do well in terms of strikeout rates, because these pitchers are not throwing as hard as him. He's throwing way harder than most guys at his level. So is this a situation where hitters are just not going to be able to handle velocity at that level, and he's not really going to get tested until he moves up a level? I think that's fair to say. Again, I also think I would ignore ERA here. I would not care about that 4.10 ERA, which is actually 5% better than the league average, because if you look at all the other metrics, they're really, really good. He has a 63.5% left on base rate. That's not going to sustain. That's not a sustainable number. It's a bit too low for it to sustain in a normal professional setting throughout a season. He doesn't give up home runs. He strikes out everyone. He doesn't have a walk problem. Like, I personally don't believe that Carlos LeGrand has a lot to learn at this level, and I don't think the ERA issues are anything to worry about. I think that what you pay attention to is, again, that dominant strikeout to walk rate. And when we start talking about him in regards to other prospects, he should be a top 100 prospect. I'm going to sit here and say right now, like, I think he's a top 3 prospect in this organization, maybe top 2. Like, he's that good right now. He's really blossomed into this guy where, like, before I was a little bit skeptical of the command improvements. I didn't want to sit here and claim after 3 or 4 starts, oh yeah, this guy's command is way better. But we're 8 starts into the season. I mean, we're a third into the minor league year, and I haven't seen it slow down. I've only seen the command remain sharp. I've only seen him continue to not walk batters and go after hitters. It's something that's so impressive to watch, so impressive to witness, I mean, just shocking. I know a lot of people compare him to Dellin Betances, and it's not just because he's a 6'7" right-hander who throws absolute gas, but because Dellin Betances was someone who also went from this wild pitcher, this wild prospect who, didn't have a lot of major league viability, to someone who, became a stud at the big league level, and someone who did really translate and really pop and become a key part of some dominant Yankee playoff teams. In 2008, Dellin Betances walked 11% of batters faced. In 2011, he walked 12.6% of batters faced. In 2012, he walked 15% of batters faced and has 6.44 ERA. It wasn't really until they moved him into a reliever role he started developing that command. But the difference, again, with Betances and LeGrand, Betances to become a reliever for that to happen. LeGrand has remained a starter. He's pitching deeper into games than he did last year. It's not as if this is a pitcher who had to go from a starter to a reliever role in order to have these command gains. He just remained a starting pitcher. What's encouraging, too, with that reliever floor that we talk about is that if he continues to pitch this way, all he seemingly has to do is just keep doing this. Like, just keep pitching at this level, keep performing at this level, and even if he doesn't pan out as a starting pitcher, the upside as a reliever is monumental. Again, he's super tall, 6'7", tons of power in his fastball. It's just all these desirable traits, and if it's as a starter, I mean, he can be a frontline starter. He can be the next ace of the New York Yankees, and he can be this guy who should be a top, 75 prospect. He kind of reminds me of Augustin Ramirez last year, where he just kind of came out of nowhere and just dominated. And, I guess Ramirez's breakout was more 2023, but publications were not ready to rank him. They were seemingly very hesitant to rank him. They didn't want to do it. And then they finally did, and they were rewarded with it. Augustin Ramirez is a really, really good hitter at the major league level right now. Really can't frame. Like, he's a brutally bad defensive player, but he is a good hitter. And again, I don't want to put a feather in my cap and kind of, do an ego brag here, but this is the channel that told you that Augustin Ramirez could hit. This is the channel that told you Augustin Ramirez mashes. This is the channel that told you don't give up on Ben Rice. This is the channel that told you don't give up on Will Warren. The Yankees are really good at player development. The Yankees are really, really, really good at, taking guys and maximizing their output, and enough people don't give the Yankees credit for that. Ryan Yarbrough is a back-end starting pitcher on a first-place team. He was cut by the Blue Jays in spring training for absolutely nothing. Will Warren was someone who was drafted in the 8th round. Ben Rice was a 12th round pick, et cetera, et cetera. Austin Wells, late first rounder. Anthony Volpe, late first rounder. The Yankees have found ways to turn guys that are not, top 5 picks, top 6 picks, top 7 picks, guys that should be top 100 prospects. Number 1, they've turned them into top 100 prospects. And then number 2, they've turned them into quality big leaguers. So the Yankees deserve the benefit of the doubt when it comes to these guys. And when you give Sam Breen and Matt Blake a dude who can touch 102 miles an hour, 103 if you count the spring breakout game, he hit 103 in that game. If you take a guy who touches 103 and can sit 99 on the fastball, and give him, he's got 2 great breaking balls, he's got a solid changeup, and you give that guy to Sam Breen and Matt Blake, yeah, he's going to be very good. And yeah, I trust the Yankees to turn that guy into a quality big leaguer. But I'd love to know what you guys think in the comment section below about the New York Yankees, about Carlos LeGrand, so on and so forth. Do you think that Carlos LeGrand should be the top pitching prospect in the Yankee organization when we do our update in the midseason? Let us know. We're working on that right now, and it's going to be a really fun one. We really appreciate you guys again tuning in and sticking through to the end of the video. Again, like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, and of course this YouTube page. And finally, check out EmpireSportsMedia.com for written coverage on all your favorite New York sports teams. I'm Ryan Garcia. This is Fireside Yankees. We'll see you in the next one. If you see me wearing the same clothes as yesterday's video, I'm recording this right after yesterday's video. This is going to come up on Friday. So yeah, that's why I'm wearing the same clothes and look the exact same. But yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, everyone. Let's go Yankees. And yeah, have a great rest of your day.
Perfect.